So
but it's but plenty of stuff that we didn't get to yesterday.
Well,
plenty
did you
of
see
stuff
the
happening
YouTube
today.
news?
Oh, Mike, did I see the YouTube news? Of course I saw the YouTube news.
Can we talk about the YouTube news?
Everybody. This isn't a right wing or left wing thing. Everybody on YouTube. I saw Jay Hunter from OSW was tweeting about it too. Everybody's tweeting about this. It doesn't matter if you hate everybody on YouTube, whether you like everybody on YouTube, or you're fucking beefing with everybody. This is some fucking crazy shit.
So do you guys remember like two years ago when they started doing the first wave of demonetizations? And we told you guys on this show that this was never about Trump. It's not about politics. This has always been how they can figure out a way to simply not pay you. Like, how can we make money but not pay everybody? And, well, turns out YouTube has now figured out a way to not pay anybody but still monetize videos. Isn't this great?
I've received, I'm sure you have too, probably 500 different emails of this email over and over again.
I tweeted it the moment I got it last night. Like, I went home, it was the first email I saw, and I immediately tweeted it out. I was like, oh, this is infuriating.
You're receiving this email because we're updating the YouTube terms of service. Terms, to clarify, our terms are provided our terms and provide transparency to our users. These changes shouldn't significantly alter your access to YouTube or your service. A summary of changes. Let's read the first one. Facial recognition restrictions. The terms of service already states that you cannot collect any information that might identify a person without their permission. While this has always included facial recognition information, the new terms make that explicitly clear. The second one, and don't even pay attention to this one, okay? Don't. YouTube's right to monetize. YouTube has the right to monetize all content on the platform, and ads may appear on videos from channels not in the YouTube Partner Program.
So, can I translate this for you?
Yes, please.
So, on top of the fact that YouTube can remove you from the partner program and just refuse to pay you the money they owe you, YouTube has now decided, they've now reserved the right to make content make money off of content that they've deemed too offensive for you to make money off of.
Correct.
That's what and again, 2 years ago, I fucking told you this was the plan.
I told you so?
I told you this was the fucking plan. Everyone's like, they're just, it's us, it's all of us based right-wingers. They're they're coming after you now, but they're going to go after other people eventually, because this has always been, how can we run ads but find a clause or some kind of toss rule where we don't have to pay you. I said 2 years ago, imagine if you owned a business and you figured out a way to legally get the people who work for you to keep making products in the factory, but legally not pay them.
Do you know what I call that?
Any boss in the world would do that.
China.
But seriously, any boss in the world, whether you think they're your buddy or not, would, if they were in a boardroom,
of course.
How can we legally not pay these people?
Oh, yeah, of course.
They'd be in there going, oh, yeah, I'll figure out a way. So YouTube has now essentially said, look, your content, which is way too offensive, you've had multiple terms of service violations. We barely even want you on this platform. We cannot, in good conscience, run at, because remember, their excuse was, advertisers don't want to advertise on this sort of content.
That's correct.
It's disgusting. Why would Ford Motor Company want to fucking run an ad on some fucking right-wing neo-Nazis video? Well, guess what? Now they're still going to run Ford commercials on it, and they're just going to keep 100% of the money.
So this is a huge change in policy. We applied for we were demonetized when the Vox adpocalypse thing happened. We were never remonetized, but I applied for remonetization last year in July.
So did Nightwave's still on hold.
It's like a year, more than a year, and it's on hold. It's just sitting there in limbo. So here's the question I have: if they could do this, which they could do this, how does this incentivize them to add anybody to the partner program except for people they want? You know, like if you could run ads anyway on people that are not on the partner program, and I get it, private company, man, I understand that, but now that means why monetize anybody, right? I mean, what would they benefit?
And
because they're going to run ads anyway, right?
Trust me, dude. A lot of people are panicking right now. A lot of people that are still monetized right now are going, like you just said, basically, wait a minute. So you just have no incentive right now to keep me in the partner program. There's no incentive.
No, there really isn't. Especially if your content is, would you consider borderline content, whatever what they consider borderline content or anything like that. And this is not us. We haven't monetized on YouTube in a very long time, so it has nothing even to do with us.
Google is literally doing the deal with the thing where they're like, look, we're gonna go, okay, we got the drugs, they got the money. Hear me out on this. We're gonna go, then I'm gonna kill everybody. And I'm going to keep the money and the drugs. Like, Google has now become the crooked, the backstabbing friend in the 80s cocaine, like, fucking crime movie. The one that's like, we'll just kill everyone and take everything.
Yeah, and that's a really good point. And the Mustard Tiger says, anyone have $1 billion to start a better platform? It's to start your own YouTube, bro. Hey, bro, start your own server farm.
Well, hey, you know what? At least, we're finally breaking up big tech, right? Finally got, we got the Senate, we got the White House, we got all that. We're gonna trust the plan. We're gonna do some plan trusting, Royce. We're gonna break up big tech.
No. That's not what's happening.
No, it's not at all what's happening.
And then the last thing, royalty and payments and tax withholding for creators entitled to revenue payments. Such as payments we will be treated as royalties from the U.S. tax perspective, and Google will withhold taxes where required by law. So Google
doesn't matter.
going to start withholding taxes.
That part doesn't matter to me. I don't care about that.
No, I know. I just want to read the whole email.
But that middle part that's the most sinister shit I've ever seen. So, but it just kills me. Like this, the very thing that they deemed was too offensive to run ads on, they're now going to run ads and keep 100% of the money.
Oh yeah.
I'm the one who said this was going to happen, and I'm still flabbergasted.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like when you go. When somebody goes, "Wow, dude, did you see the TV right now? Your Jets are up by 7," and I'll go, "They're gonna fucking lose it today." You know what I mean? Still, by the end of the game, when they're losing it, you go, "God damn it!" Like, I don't want to be right about this.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess what that means. Now, let's see what they do. I would be interested if anybody watching, that's watching on, not watching on, I know ad block works and all that stuff, but anyone not watching this show or other shows that we know are not monetized, whether they start running ads anyway. Because if you're not in the partner program, and like you said before, the reason they say that you're not allowed is because advertisers aren't going to want to run stuff because your content is not advertiser friendly. But you know what else that means? That means people that have like new up and comers from YouTube that get like 100, get like 100 views a video. There's going to be ads on those too. It's going to be filled with ads. Huge filled with ads.
Well, that's probably one of the reasons they did this, is because I've been saying for a while that if you're annoyed at the sheer volume of ads you're getting now, when you go watch a 5-minute video and it has 3 ads, and you're like, why is it like this? That was partly because they got rid of the partner program and they kicked a bunch of people out. When you have thousands of less channels and videos that you can run ads on and distribute ads to, but you've already sold the ads, like, you still have to deliver those ads. So they're going to shove those ads down your throat one way or another. So if you're placing ads on half of the amount of videos you used to do, you're going to get twice as many ads. It's just the way it is. So it's been a matter of time that they were going to figure out some workaround to reduce the amount of fucking commercials you're seeing on the other videos. And they were like, what if we just keep the money? It's so fucked up, dude.
Yeah, and it's going to affect everybody. It's going to big content creators, small content creators, because there's some people that there are some people that have purposely would qualify for the partner program and have decided that they are not going to be it. Like they've decided, like, I'm just not going to do it. I'd rather not be monetized because I don't want to give YouTube money. I'm just going to do my, like, Stick Sex and Hammer, for example, is one that just could be monetized, but he decided I'm not going to be monetized.
I don't think he's ever been monetized.
No, he said I'm not going to do it. I won't do it. So there's going to be a lot of people now that are purposely saying we're not going to, and they're going to run ads anyway. So you're going to, and of course, most normal people, viewers and all, aren't going to see or know that this is a new rule. You know what I mean? They're not going to know that this is a new rule. So then now they're going to start yelling at these content creators going, dude, why there's so many ads between your videos? And there's going to be a lot of content creators are going to go, look, I'm not the one doing it. YouTube is the one doing it. So they're going to run. And I get it. I know. It's a private company, man. It's a private company, dude. I know. That's going to be the
Yeah, but what happens when your private companies are merging with the government?
yeah.
Then what?
Yeah.
I mean, private companies cool and all when you're talking about small businesses. Here's the thing about the private company thing, because I'm sick of hearing this fucking argument. Yeah, private company argument's great and all when we live in an actual free market system, but we don't. We live in a system in which the market is rigged in favor of the big corporations. The government works very hard to make sure companies like Google stay at the top.
Right.
They do everything they can to crush competition, to crush innovation. They do everything they can to undermine the free market. So you can't say, private company, dude, while your private company is undermining the very fabric of this country.
Yeah.
I'm tired of this. Get that fucking argument out of my face. I'm tired of hearing, it's a private company, bro. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah. And now they're going to be monetized. I mean, it's the same thing that that Twitter started doing. When you go to somebody's page now, they just have ads on your page too, which, I mean, I get it. They could do whatever they want, but at some point when there's no competition, right? When there's no competition, when there's nothing else to go to, what do you do? And I mean, I don't think the start your own YouTube is going to be a solution. Like, it's not realistic. Remember something, and we've talked about it a lot, but a lot of people don't know this. Like, YouTube functions at a loss. They don't make money for Google. They lose money for Google, which is probably another reason they're doing this. They're trying to find a way to add revenue, because at the end of all this, even when this happens, are people really going to leave YouTube? I know people say, well, I'll go to BitChute. Well, BitChute doesn't have a live streaming thing, but there's people that make videos. Fine. You go to BitChute. Where are you going to go? DLive? You go to DLive. DLive has a live streaming thing, but even if you're verified, they only keep your videos up for 30 days.
Yeah, there's no archiving. And even if there was, their entire user interface is a mess. You wouldn't,
Right.
You know what I mean? Like DLive, even if you said right now, DLive, if they announced today, all right, we're going to start saving all of your videos. Would anybody really want to scroll through DLive's interface to look for an old episode? Like, it's a mess. So YouTube's got everyone by the dick. Everyone by the dick. And there's nothing we can do about it. And anytime somebody suggests something be done about it, you got to hear from the libertarian retards who were like, oh, bro, it's a private company. Non-aggression principle, dude. Excuse me? Private ownership, dude. Private property. And it's like, okay, but when your private property is now spreading like a cancer and is literally going to strangle this country to death, I stop giving a fuck about your private property. Like, again, it's nice to have these little principles that we stand by. Private business, private property rights. But we're not talking about a fucking pizzeria down the street that's getting shut down by the government because they won't, because they want to be able to open their business and they're getting fined every day because of masks and shit. We're talking about a company that has billions of dollars invested in lobbying and influencing and donating to fucking to all these different, like once you get to that level, we do need to have a talk about why you have as much money as you do and why you're as big as you do. I'm sorry. That is a conversation we need to have. We need to have it before companies like this take the fucking country over. We shouldn't be waiting until fucking 6 months after they take the country over and they've activated their fucking Skynet robots and we're supposed to go, oh, man, we should maybe start having a conversation about Google,
It's a private company. Yeah, but here's that private company thing. The problem is that mom and pop's fucking store, for example, mom and pop's general store doesn't have the entire U.S. government behind them, doesn't get special exemptions from the U.S. government, and you know what? Mom and pop's thrift store isn't deciding elections in this country. You know what I mean? Isn't telling you the news that you could look at. Isn't immune to lawsuits like the way Google and Twitter and Facebook and all these companies are. They get all of these exceptions, So, I don't, look, and the thing is, people go, why are we still here? Because where do you go? I say this with sincerity. What are your options? We are also streaming on DLive, obviously. You know, we're on Twitch. We don't even plug that because Twitch is probably more hardcore about banning people than even YouTube is.
I just caught my second ban in 6 weeks. Second ban, and it's 14 days. And if I get one more ban on Twitch, I'm nuked. So yeah, it's not. Twitch is probably the worst one of the three. I think YouTube would be as bad as Twitch if YouTube was still as small as Twitch. Like if YouTube didn't have as much shit to keep an eye out for,
right?
They'd probably be like YouTube. You can kind of float under the radar a little bit if you're not being egregious, because it's such a big platform and they have so much shit they're running around chasing. But DLive's the one. But now we have the SPLC's going after DLive. So what next?
And look, it's a good question, and it's a fair question. You know, it's why are we still here? Why are we still using YouTube? Because if you want to reach more, it's that weird catch-22, right? And correct me if I'm wrong here, but you have to reach as many people as you can to tell them how shitty YouTube is, for example. You have to use YouTube. You know what I mean? That's the way it works. Yeah, you could sit there and you could yell into the void for a lot of stuff, you know, and you know, maybe I foresee one day where we're going to be kicked off of YouTube. I know it's probably coming. I'm not stupid. I'm not going to be shocked when it happens. But up until then, you keep using the platform, right? What do? You know? How do you compete? Everybody that's ever tried to compete with YouTube immediately falls apart and they get squashed and they can't handle it. And they just can't because then they don't have fucking Google backing them, you know, which helps.
Fucking sick of this website, though.
No, hey, man, so am I. But what do you do? What do you do? You know? I mean, DLive only. There's some people that are doing that, and the people that are doing DLive only aren't doing it by choice, you know?
No, of course.
They're doing it because they were kicked off on YouTube.
Yeah, because everybody that does DLive that has the option, they're still using those other platforms. I mean, even Baked Alaska, when they went on that fucking RV thing, he had his DLive, but the only time he was only on DLive was when he would get zapped, because I think he got like 3 or 4 accounts fucking zapped during that trip. And every once in a while he'd be back on DLive, but even on that RV trip, like people were like, all right, I got to make a new YouTube. I got to get back up on YouTube. Everybody knows you got to be, it sucks, but you got to be on YouTube if you want to reach anybody.